If you're visiting Paris, you'll see crêpes everywhere. There are nearly 200 crêperies in the capital, including 12 on the Rue du Montparnasse alone. But there's something many visitors don't realize. In France, there are actually two very different things, crêpes and galettes. In Paris, there are plenty of places that sell only crêpes. To me, those are snack counters, not real crêperie, because a proper crêperie always serves galettes. Today, I'm taking you to my favorite crêperie in Paris, Little Breizh. Breizh means Brittany, the region at the extreme west of France, Bretagne in French. But before the review, let me quickly show you what makes French crêpes so special, why galettes are not just salty crêpes, and how this tradition became a real part of French culinary culture. Once you know the difference, ordering in a crêperie suddenly becomes much easier and much more interesting. In France, a crêpe is the sweet version, made with wheat flour, eggs, milk and sugar. A galette, on the other hand, is savory and made with buckwheat, a darker, more rustic flour that gives a nuttier flavor and a slightly crisp texture. It may come as a surprise to some viewers, but buckwheat, unlike wheat, is not actually a cereal. It's a flowering plant cultivated for its grain-like seeds. Beyond its distinctive flavor, it's also interesting for some people because it's naturally gluten-free. So, one is typically dessert, the other is a full meal. This tradition comes from Brittany in western France, where galettes have been part of everyday life for centuries. Buckwheat grows well there, in poor soils and harsh weather, and it naturally became the base of a simple, nourishing cuisine.
On remue bien. On ajoute peu à peu le lait.
For a long time, galettes were a rural staple, something people cooked at home on large cast iron plates to feed the whole family. They were never meant to be fancy, just honest, filling and deeply rooted in local culture. On the other side, crêpes, made with wheat flour, became associated with celebrations and family moments, and over time turned into a symbol of French comfort food. From traditional kitchen cooking to TV archives, where chefs like here Paul Bocuse are preparing them, they clearly belong both to everyday life and to France's culinary heritage. Today, when you walk into a good crêperie, you're not just ordering a quick meal. You're stepping into a tradition that connects regional history, family cooking, and a very French approach to simple but well-made food. So that's the tradition. Now the real question is, how well is it done today? Let's head to Little Breizh. In the heart of Saint-Germain-des-Prés, Little Breizh is, for me, the best crêperie in Paris among the many I've tested over the years. Those of you who watched my video about street food in Saint-Germain may already remember Little Breizh. It's primarily a sit-down crêperie, but they also do takeaway crêpes, and that's how I first featured it in that earlier video. This galette, a complète, which means just with cheese and egg and ham, was one of the best I had ever eaten. So today, I'm on Rue Grégoire de Tours, where the restaurant is located, and I'm just waiting for a table to become available. They told me it should be about a 10-minute wait. Little Breizh only seats 32 people, and given its reputation, queues are almost inevitable. I finally made it inside, took my seat, and was given the menu. They offer 19 different buckwheat galettes, plus one additional special written on a chalkboard on the wall. There are also 2 salads on offer. And there are also more than a dozen sweet crêpes made with wheat flour to choose from. And a few ice creams. Even though the galette and crêpe are very reasonably priced on their own, the restaurant also offers 2 set menus at €14.90 and €18.90, each including a savory galette, a sweet crêpe, and a bowl of cider or apple juice. Both represent excellent value for money. In Crêperie, the traditional drink isn't wine, it's cider, which pairs naturally with both galette and crêpe. I went for the €18.90 menu, which includes a bowl of cider, and I was also offered a carafe of water. I opted for the biquette, which translates as little goat, a buckwheat galette generously topped with melting goat cheese, zucchini, tomatoes, walnuts, and a drizzle of honey. It was excellent. The buckwheat galette had the right level of crispness, the vegetables were cooked al dente to retain their texture and flavor, and the honey added a delicate sweet contrast that elevated the entire dish. The dessert was simple yet delightful. A crêpe generously covered with homemade salted butter caramel. Yummy! For once, the bill was straightforward. I ordered the set menu with the drink included, so I simply paid €18.90. Considering the quality of both the galette and the crêpe, it represents excellent value for money. With a final score of 17.6 out of 20, Little Breizh stands out as one of the very best crêperies in Paris. The location in the heart of Saint-Germain is ideal, the food is outstanding from the galette to the crêpe, and the pricing is remarkably fair for this level of quality. The only real downside is the space. It's small, tables are close together, and it can get a bit noisy at peak times. But if what you're looking for is authentic, perfectly executed Breton comfort food at a very reasonable price, this is a place I can wholeheartedly recommend, and one I personally keep coming back to.